Don Pensinger, great friend, great musician, great band member, great time on stage and off stage, and he's going to be missed. Out of all the musicians and everyone I played with in Nashville, I spent more time with Don Pensinger than any other musician. We spent more time on the road together. Out of all the years we were together, a total probably about, I figured around 19 years out of the 25 years I was there. I knew him a little of him before that, and how I met Don was after I was in Nashville for a couple of years, I'd worked my way into Mel Tillis' publishing company, and I was hanging out with a guy who was a songwriter there, and he knew I was wanting to put a band together and get out and meet some people. And he told me he had a friend who was needing someone to fill in for him at a gig down in Nashville. So I jumped on it. And so I go to the gig, and I had never been doing any cover tunes at the time. So anyway, I go do the gig to meet some people. And so I go down, find the place. Man, it's in a bad spot in Nashville. I got there just in time. They were already on stage. I get up on stage, and I'd never met Don before, but he's there with his bass, and they're all tuning up. And I look down, and everybody's got guitar tuners. I said, wow, man, these guys got guitar tuners. I didn't have a tuner. I started to set out of tune, and Don sung a song. The keyboard player sings a song. Then he asked me to sing a song. I didn't know what to sing, so I sung this old blues song. And after the set was over, this guy comes up to me, this drunk comes up to me after the show and says, hey, buddy, this is not a blues bar. You better be playing some country. And boy, Don and them guys rode me to death after that. So anyway, that's where I met Don. And I'll never forget that night just thinking what a great bass player he was, how steady he was. So I started playing around town a little bit here and there, and playing guitar and harmonica and doing original songs. I got an opportunity to do a duo. So I called Don up to play bass with me. And Don comes over, and I tell him I just want to write my own songs, record them, and perform them. And I need somebody who was willing to learn original songs, not just jump in on cover tunes and all that. So he said, oh, that sounds great. So he jumped right in. So we started working around Nashville and started working quite a bit. And finally we worked our way we got a couple of the Walmart stores where we did the grand opening and some of the special things they were doing. And they called us for things like that. So then they asked us if we would like to go to Terre Haute, Indiana. And they asked me if I, play with a band or anything. We said, oh yeah, we got a band. We can get a band together. And so they said, oh great. So they booked us for Terre Haute, Indiana. Of course, we didn't have a band. So me and Don go back, and then we find us a drummer and a guitar player. And we go do the show. It went over really good. So they asked us if we would go to Atlantic City, New Jersey. So we went and did that show, and that went over great. And we come back, I don't know if it's just confidence or what, but man, things started picking up right after that. We started getting offers to do a lot of festivals. So we put us a big lineup together. We went in, and first person that I asked was Sam Weedman. He was working at Mel Tillis' publishing company. He had his own studio. He wrote songs for Mel Tillis, Dr. Hook. He come and joined the band. He played rhythm and lead guitar, sang great harmonies. Then we had Bullet Harris on drums. He came into town. He played for Steve Earle. He ended up joining the band, a great drummer. And then we finished it up with Drew Perkins. We got Drew Perkins. He played fiddle and mandolin and guitar, and just a great performer. So we had a great lineup, and we started doing the festivals and fairs. Of course, then I was working on my albums, and these guys were instrumental in all my albums that I did. Sam Weedman had his own studio, and at that time I had my own studio, so me and Don would go and do a lot of the basic drum, bass, and rhythm parts. Then we go to Sam's studio, and Sam would add his guitars, and Drew would add his fiddle and mandolin, whatever he had to, and that's the way we would do all of our albums. So every album I did, these guys were all in on it. And after a few years, Bullet Harris, the drummer, he had to go back to Fort Worth to take care of his dad. And when he did, he introduced me to his good friend, Willis Bailey, who taught him to play drums. And man, Willis, what a drummer this guy was. He could play a garbage can. It'd sound great. But that band, we really rocked, and those guys are on all my recordings, one way or another. And man, it was just a great, it was a great 25 years in Nashville. And Don Pensinger was with me the whole way, from the time I started out of tune to the time we hit Billboard Top 100 magazine, songs recorded by Hank Williams Jr., everything. Those guys were involved in all that. Miss you, Don. I love you, man. You were a great friend, great guy to travel with, and going to miss you.